Welcome to the New Author Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Kacy. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Author Podcast. Today is Monday. This is a date that I better know, Rich. This isn't a date that I can't forget. Today is Monday, May 26th, 2025. This is episode number 312, and today is my mom's birthday. So that's a day that I obviously have to remember. I can't be like, what was today again? So I'm one of those in this podcast, Jerry Evanoff. With me, as he is each week, is Rich Kacy. Rich, how are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, I kind of like the way that we're masters of this online technology, and that so every week it's something new.
I mean, I could say, it's our age, but I'm a computer programmer for a living. You're a pretty technical guy. I mean,
right.
I think we get this right. But every week it's like, can you hear me? Can I hear you? It's so weird.
Talking about age, I was at the library working, and for some reason Zoom is popping up on my screen. Let me get rid of that. And they used the word cooked. And I got accused by one of my young coworkers of stealing Gen Z vocabulary.
Because you said cooked?
Yeah, because I said somebody was cooked.
Okay, that's actually really funny. You should do that more often. You should say skibbity every now and then. I don't know what it means.
Skibbity.
But you should say it. I don't know. All right, so let me jump. This could be a long podcast. I have a whole bunch of stuff to go over the last 2 weeks to talk about. So let me start with my stats first. My goal when we podcasted 2 weeks ago was to have 6,000 words for that first week, which turned into, hopefully I can get 6,000 words for the 2 weeks. Well, I didn't. The plan, I kind of changed my mind the very next day and thought, I'm going to plot this book completely before I even start writing. That's what I should be doing. I gave up on the Patreon stuff a couple weeks ago, and that was where I was going to plot. Then I just started writing because I was enjoying the first couple chapters, and I hit chapter 3.5 and went, I don't know what to do next. So I had to sit down and plot the entire thing. So I spent most of the last 2 weeks plotting, although I did the last 2 days start writing. So book 8 is up 3,177 words to 6,733, which is nice. That's the prologue, 2.5 chapters, and then the last 3 chapters, which I decided to write the last 2 days. So for my year now, I'm up to 75,738 words, on my way to 145,000, and I'm ahead of that goal, which is good. And my words per hour is up a few to 1,275.1, which is also good. And if you're looking for actual numbers that are nice and they look good over the last 2 weeks, the Google document that I used for my book 8 plot is actually 30 pages long. Wow. And it's 9,423 words. Most of that's come over the last 2 weeks. So I didn't get a lot of draft words in the book, but I still put a lot of words down on paper.
Yeah, you did a lot of work. I did absolutely no work. I had the same goal that you did a week before last. I was going to have 6,000 words, and I probably would have rolled that over to the same this past week. But then there was all kinds of family drama, and then my wife decided that she needed me to put a concrete path throughout the entire garden for her, and then she left town. So now I'm doing the path, and she's gone, and I haven't had any time to do any writing at all. And I've been thinking about that, and a little bit later, I'm going to have some more words about that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but okay. Nice tease. I'm excited. All right. So this is going to take a while. So I'm going to run through these days one at a time, because each day had something for the most part that's writing related and important to this podcast. So,
and I can interrupt you and make it last for the whole hour. So we'll do that.
There you go. All right. Okay. So Tuesday, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I was in the office, and this is where I decided, instead of writing words, I'm going to concentrate on working on this plot. But this book is different. This book can't be your normal whodunit murder mystery. This book has to be, because I had a book 7.5 that led into it that had like 10 deaths in it. I didn't want to do 10 more, because even though it's a serial killer. So this was going to be a little bit different with the way this worked. I also, and I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about this later, so I'm going to talk about it now. I also decided in this book I was going to kill off a main character. It hurts me to say it, but it makes sense for the story. It makes sense for Sam. It makes sense for all of that. And I will spoil it. It's not going to be the love interest, because I'll never, ever do that. It will hurt me too much. But I did decide also that they should have a little bit of a will they or won't they break up moment in this book also. So.
I understood that authors killing off their characters was supposed to lead to giddy emotions, not...
I feel terrible. I like these characters. They're my friends. I've been working with them for 2 years. 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. I feel terrible. So yeah, so I couldn't, to kill off the main character that I'm killing off. He's been in probably he'll be in like 7 of the 9 books. Pretty important character to Sam. I mean, it's a whole thing. So, and it's and I made it a very quick death. So I feel better about it at least. No suffering. I can't make him suffer. So yeah, so that's where I was. So this is a lot of Tuesday. I'm sitting in the office, just starting to put the plot down on paper, kind of write down the scenes I want in there, and then fill in the blanks from there. So that was Tuesday. I did golf that Tuesday night. Played terrible. It's again, I know this is going to sound like a repeat of every podcast I've been doing for the last few months, but it is so cold and rainy up here. It was like 50 degrees yesterday when I woke up. It was rainy like crazy all last week. The course that I played on the weekends was closed Thursday and Friday because of rain. And it's been horrible. I can't wait till it's over.
Well, I can't believe the weather is still so bad up there. We've been in the mid 90s like for the last 2 weeks. And it's been terrible in another direction, but
I left my phone in the other room. Right now, it's probably around 70. Like midday has been, well, the last couple of days it hasn't, but midday today is probably in the 70s. And it's going to start getting better, I believe, after this week. It's still going to be chilly and rainy this week, but yeah. So I didn't golf very well that night. So then Wednesday I worked from home. There was nothing writing related. I took to the couch around 7:00, but then I wanted to play my football game. I had an urge, which is strange. So I came back here at like 7:15, played for about an hour, which is really unlike me on a school night, especially when I have to get up at 5 a.m. the next day for work. But I did, and I had a good time doing it. So I was really happy about that. Thursday, I'm in the office, and then at lunch, I continued the plotting, and I'm feeling good about the scenes for Act 1 at this point. So what I did was I didn't actually write out a bunch of chapters. I literally just wrote a whole bunch of scenes that I wanted to have in Act 1, a whole bunch of scenes in Act 2, and so on. And then when I was finished with all the scenes, that's when I actually ordered them, moved some things around, and then I put chapter numbers in certain spots. So I was still working through the scenes in Act 1. Got home around 5:30, had some dinner, nothing exciting.
I've been meaning to ask you this. Do you set an alarm for yourself while you're writing at lunch so that you know when it's time to quit? Because when I start writing anything, I become so immersed in it and lost in it that I just don't have any idea what time passing or anything like that. So,
do you ever set an alarm for yourself in the morning at, let's say, 7 a.m. and then you wake up at 6:40 and you can't go back to sleep because you're constantly looking at the clock?
Right.
So that's about me. So I'll start writing. I'll go to lunch around 11:40. I'll start writing around 11:55 or so. And then once it gets to about before 12:45, I'll just constantly be looking down at the bottom right-hand corner of my computer going, oh man, 10 more minutes left. So, the last 10 minutes may not be as productive as the first 40 minutes or so. So yeah, so that's about how it is. In the evening, I don't remember what I did. I didn't write it in the outline, so it must not have been anything important. Friday, I worked from home. Again, nothing writing related on this day. In the evening, I did play my football game. I was expecting to get my new set of cards on this day, but they actually didn't show up. I bought the 2012 NFL season because I want to make a fake fun league. It usually takes about 6 days with this company when I order. There's a lot of people who complain about their shipping. It's done through the USPS, the postal system, postal service.
Oh, there you go.
Well, but for me, it's always been like 6 days, but this is the first time that I think it took 13 days this time, which is a little disappointing, but they promised 14 days on their website and they still beat that. So I'm not going to complain.
Right.
And it's a little tiny company, it's a little tiny, I feel like it's a one-man operation.
Probably.
Out loud. Yeah. But yeah, so then I woke up Saturday. This is when I could not golf. I woke up around 7. We were doing a giant system install. So I really couldn't go anywhere for a while. We started at 8 a.m. I really only had 2 things on the list I had to do. The list is about 26 deep. I only had 2 things. I did the first one from 8:15 to about 8:25. I did the second one from 8:45 to 9:05, and then I was done. But I couldn't go anywhere. So I had to stay with teams because once the other guys finished, which took another hour or 2, our tester started, and if she found any problems, I had to be there to fix my problems if they were there. I felt pretty confident, but I always feel confident, which is always a mistake. So around 10:30, she starts testing. My dad came over and got Max around that time, so he go over there for the day. And what I did was I literally just came back here and played my football game for about an hour. Just after maybe every 5 to 10 minutes, I'd walk in the front and just check teams to see if I had any messages, and there was nothing. I mean, people were just working through stuff.
Do your parents have a dog?
Yeah, they have a little tiny English something or other.
So he goes over there to be with the playmate.
Yeah, whenever I go over there on the weekends to drop him off, my mom's like, he's been asking about Max. He's been wondering where his friend is. So yeah,
Okay.
and it tires both of them out, which my mom likes, and then Max will sleep all night because of it.
Okay.
So yeah, and they have a big fence. My dad will go sit back there in the backyard with him as they run around too. So
Yeah.
it's good. So anyway, so around 10:45, she started testing, and everything was great. She did find one thing that it wasn't on me; it was on somebody else, and we decided that it didn't matter if it waited until Monday or Tuesday to fix it. It wasn't a deal breaker. It was a small picture not showing up, which is fine. And then right around 2:45, and I'm not exaggerating when I say the last button on the last screen of the last app she was testing, which was mine, shows a pop-up, and the picture was missing. And I had the link wrong in the code. So I hurried up and I changed it and recompiled it and moved it. It took 2 minutes. And then we were done. So we were done by about 3 o'clock, which was nice. And because we were done by 3 o'clock, I really didn't feel like going anywhere. My thought was I'll come back here and I'll plot because that's all I'm doing right now. I can plot at home and not write. So I made a burger. And around 4:45, I went to pick up Max. When I got home, there were a couple of YouTube videos I wanted to watch as I sat on the couch. And, sitting on the couch at like 5 o'clock is dangerous for me. Sometimes I do it after work because I don't get up most of the time other than to maybe eat dinner, but I already had eaten at this point. So there was literally no plotting until around 7 p.m. when I did grab my laptop and think to myself, I need to plot. I need to do something here. I got some ideas for some scenes. And I want to get them in here. So I grabbed my laptop, sat on the couch, watched some YouTube, and just typed out the scenes. Again, no organization, just typing them into my document so that I could organize them later.
Well, that's pretty impressive after sitting there for a couple hours to actually then roll over and do something.
It was like I couldn't. It's like I'm sitting there watching the YouTube and I'm not paying attention, and my laptop's right over there. I know I got to type some stuff, so I just crap. So
see, I would roll over and probably lay down and take a nap on the couch.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is I'm not a nap person.
Oh, really?
Because I feel like I'm missing doing stuff because my days. Wait till you hear like my last couple days. Holy cow!
You're like my wife. My wife does not nap during the day because she's afraid she's going to miss something.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to like not do something I had a list of like 12 things to do this weekend, and I did the last one right before we logged in, so I'm feeling good. But yeah, so anyway, so I did have a nice productive Saturday in terms of work, playing my football game and plotting. Like it all worked out, even though I didn't do them in the order I thought I would, except for work. It all worked out really well. Up to golf, just me and my buddy Dave, who plays with me on the weekends. We decided to play from the white tees. They're about 700 yards shorter, about 40 yards per hole, except there's a couple holes where you're like 50 yards up. There's another where you're 100 yards up. It's great.
Wow.
And I actually shot an 83, which sadly is my handicap. My handicap from the white tees is a 9, and I shot an 83, which 72 plus 9 is actually 11. So I went a little higher than my handicap. But I hit a lot of good shots. I felt really great. And that's a curse in golf. Because the minute you feel good, you're not playing well the next time. And then afterward, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings to continue my plotting. So now at this point, I have a whole bunch of scenes in plot 2. The first act Act 2, the first and second half of Act 2. And I needed to this is where I started putting them in order, making sure that everything flows well. I'm still a few scenes short of the word count that I want for this one. And then while I'm putting them in order, I start to think about where I want to put in the villain's POV, because even though I haven't done that in any of the first 7 books, I have that 7.5 that is all villains POV. So when I get to book 8, I feel like I got to mix him in just a little bit since the reader has already seen a lot of him. So I think I got 5 chapters in there that are his, and they're spread out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with him overall. He's going crazy in this book, which is nice. I also worked really hard for about an hour on a scene that's in the last. Now it's the third to last chapter. No, wait, second to last chapter. It's the denouement, but it's not your typical. This is more of an action scene, but I'm trying to make it so that my character is not a fighter. I don't want him to be like all of a sudden he can beat up people. That's not who he is. So I really worked hard. I also wanted to pull a scene out of book 1 and have him remember that, and then that is kind of important to this scene in terms of how he defeats the villain. And I really worked hard at it for a while and could not figure it out. And I just kind of gave up with that second half of chapter 25 is the only thing left. And it just, it wasn't, I was feeling kind of crappy, but that's all I had left, which was good.
Right.
Monday, I was back in at work in the office, and it's so funny. I'd really struggled with that scene. The previous day I'm sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings and trying to come up with something. And then that night, I dreamt about it. Now, I never ever dream about writing. I hear people say that, and I'm impressed. Like it's people do that. I never ever do that. This time I did. I had this dream about a fight scene where my character. I'm back in high school because you always dream about being back in high school. And there was a kid who I went to high school with who I haven't seen in years and years and years. Who I have a problem with him, but for whatever reason he wanted to beat me up. So like I'm like trying to avoid it, and then on the way out of school, and strap in here, people. I know listening to other people's dreams is boring, but I'll go quick. I was going to leave the school, but for whatever reason, this little dog tapped me on the thigh. I don't know why it was a little dog, and tapped me on the back of my leg, and led me to this like what do they call that in the UFC the hexagon or the
hexagon.
So it led me to this hexagon, and the dog jumped up on this light switch and turned on the lights. So I started thinking about my scene from book 1 that I want to. It's Sam and Danny's first kiss, and in that scene, she teases him for admitting he's afraid of the dark. Not in a bad way, just they're flirty, teasing type of thing. And I thought, man, that could come back right there. I could use the fact that he claimed to be afraid of the dark. This scene does take place in kind of a dark room. Sam can flip the lights out and then figure it out from there. And as I'm driving to work that day, thinking about A, the dream, and B, the scene from book 1, and then what I'm trying to do, it all kind of came together in my head, which was kind of cool. That was a fun moment for me as I'm driving. Now all I could think as I'm driving is, okay, get to work and write it down because you're gonna forget it. So I went back.
So that dream that you had of high school, 2 critical questions.
Yep.
Number 1.
No, I wasn't naked.
Okay, you weren't naked. So
yeah.
And number 2, were you missing an exam and couldn't find the room where it's at?
No, that wasn't happening either. No. Those are your typical. I don't dream about high school ever. I don't care about high school. It's so weird. That's so weird that the whole thing happened. But it's probably because I worked at it for so long that it was just stuck in my head when I went to bed. So so I get to work, and immediately just start typing into my plot everything I could possibly think of that on the car ride in that I had kind of said out loud to myself, and it worked out well. I was very happy with how it worked out. I was excited to actually plot it a little more. So at lunch, boy, I put a whole bunch of stuff in this outline that I'm skipping past now that has to do with that dream. At lunch, I made sense of it. I kind of spelled it all out. I made the professor. So one of the things that I was struggling with, even when I was writing book 7.5, is what is the professor's motive for killing these people? When the first half of the book, I had a motive that made sense. Then I have him getting obsessed with Sam, and the question is why? And I kind of came up with this idea of how he hates the amateur sleuth. It's a thing. He can't stand him, and he wants to teach Sam how to be an actual detective. But in his crazy mind, his going crazy mind, it turns into this scene in the end where he set up kind of a mock classroom, and this is the other thing I did is I'm holding Danny prisoner, and she's got a bruise on her face where he hit her, and this is stuff I don't want to do to her. I like her, and it makes me sad. And so then I'll get to the last chapter here in a little while. So I wrote the chapter out pretty good. I was very happy with that. And then you had texted me about moving the podcast to a couple days later, or moving it to tonight. And I was pretty excited about that because I had a whole bunch of things I wanted to do in the evening, play my football game, clean up the house a little bit, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And in the end, I did nothing. So it's fantastic. So on Tuesday now, was that Monday? Oh, that was Monday. I'm sorry. I kind of got, that was Monday. Yeah, that was Monday. Yeah.
You're right.
So then Tuesday, I'm back in the office. We had a customer appreciation. No, that should not be customer. We had an employee appreciation day celebration with lunch that was catered in from Chipotle. I haven't had Chipotle in like 5 years. I'm mad at them. I'm boycotting them. And because back during COVID, it was 2021. I was driving home from golf. 2 consecutive weeks I went in there. The first week I walked in there, they're like, we're only taking mobile orders. And I said, but I'm here. They're like, no, we're only taking mobile orders. So I left. I go in a following week. I'm the first person in line and no one's waiting on me. Like I'm just standing there. And then the people start to line up behind me. No one's waiting on me. And finally I was like, screw this. And I left. And so I decided I'm never going back. But we had it catered in and I really liked Chipotle. So I had a nice big Chipotle lunch, which was nice. And then I didn't have a whole lot of time. I continued to work on my plotting. I knew it was close. Not there yet, but I knew it was close. And again, up till this point, I still haven't added chapter numbers to anything. So I spent some time splitting up the scenes, working on the chapters. I ended up with 26, but some of them do have multiple scenes. So I'm sure that once I go ahead and do the editing, I will probably end up with like 30 to 35 chapters. That's usually how it works. I did take my entire plot I have that 30-page plot. I pasted it into ChatGPT, and Rich, I don't know if you know this about ChatGPT, but it loves everything that I do. And I asked it, hey, tell me if I'm missing tropes. If you think I'm missing anything, does it flow nice? I just want to hear its opinion. And I wrote in here, it told me with a colon, because I was going to then go to ChatGPT and read what it read me. Because sometimes in the outline, I like to surprise you with what I'm doing, so I don't put stuff in stuff. Well, I deleted the ChatGPT thread like 4 days ago and completely forgot about it, so I don't have it anymore. In the evening, this past Tuesday, I golfed, got a better score, my best score of the year. Still not where I want to be, but I'm getting better. It was chilly. I had pants and sleeves for the 100th straight time of golfing this year. It's driving me crazy. I also had, it's so funny that you mentioned concrete, because I called the guy on Tuesday that I'm looking for a new blacktop driveway. So I've been trying to get quotes. I had one guy give me a quote. He called me and told me that for my square footage, it would be $6,000, like $59.50. I don't know if that's a good price or not. And I'm not talking concrete, I'm talking blacktop. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a good price or not. So I started calling a couple more to come out and give me some prices. I haven't gotten anything from anybody else yet. I'm hoping to hear from another person this week, because I just want to know, is that 6,000 too high, too low? Is it average? Does it sound right? Because I'm going to probably do it this summer. And I got to say, this is really shaping up to be an expensive summer for me, which is scary and sad, because it's going to kill my financial goals for this year. But it's probably going to happen. I also, let's see. Okay, so when I got home from golf that night, so it's like 9 o'clock at night, I had gotten an email from Edits by Tony, who's going to do my story Bible for book 1. So she actually had a couple of cancellations, and she can start June 1st. So that's awesome, because she was going to start like June 26th. So this is awesome. She'll be done by June 17th. I'm really excited to see what she does.
Right.
So that's fun. Wednesday, I worked from home. I took Max to the vet at 3 p.m. And here's where the more expenses come in. He needs his teeth cleaned really bad, and he's not going to let somebody do it. So I'm going to knock him out, and they're going to do it, and they're going to do it properly, and it's going to cost like $500. But at the same time, I'm going to start him on some Lyme disease vaccine, because the ticks up here are pretty bad right now. She said she's testing a lot of dogs positive. She said he actually came, based on his blood test, he came into contact with a tick that had Lyme disease, even though he doesn't have it. So I said, yeah, let's get him on I have him on pills anyway, which is probably why he doesn't have it now.
Right.
But she said, let's go. I said, yeah, let's do that. The vaccine is cheap. It makes sense. So I'm going to do, in 2 weeks, I'm going to take him in for the first vaccine shot. And then a month later, I'll take him in for the second one on the same day that he's getting his teeth cleaned. So
why do they have a vaccine for Lyme disease for dogs, but not for humans? I don't think they have. I don't know. I don't think they
Maybe
have.
Maybe I'm being scammed. I don't know.
That's no idea. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up, because I didn't think there was a vaccine, but maybe there is.
I don't know. I hope so, because I don't want him to get it. So Thursday I'm back in the office. Sorry. At lunch I did not do anything writing related. I had a shorter lunch, and I did use it to add a few things to my outline. I didn't have a lot of time. Again, still not much. Still not done. I need to review it. I need to go over it a little bit. I don't know if I was procrastinating right now. Honestly, I might have been, or if I just felt like I do feel like I needed to review it. I didn't start writing for another couple of days. So I felt like it still needed a review. Mm-hmm. I was getting ready to leave on Friday. And as I walked up past this woman's office, Michelle, she stopped me. She's like, hey, she said, we're looking at doing a book club. Are you interested? And I kind of said, well, I'll tell you what, Michelle, I hear people talk about, including you, I hear people talk about their book clubs. And never once have I had anybody say to me, hey, here's what we're reading. And it was something that I was interested in. Like, I don't want to read a drama. I'm not looking to be made to think. I don't care about that. I just want to be entertained. And I said, if it's a book that I like, I'm in. I'm happy to do it. They're starting at June 1st and going July 1st, August. And it's not only in the building. It's the entire company. It'll be like a Zoom or a Teams type of book club meeting, which is fine. And I also told her, listen, I'm also not doing this on like a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon. If it's during work hours, I'm in. Count me in.
Exactly.
So that's how I participate in work events. I do it during work hours, except for Top Golf. So she did send me the list of books that are being out there, and there are some. There's a couple of biographies that I find interesting. There's a murder mystery on there, and there's a couple of other fiction books that may be interesting to me. But again, I'm not looking to read. If it's something that I don't want to read, it's just going to feel like homework. Right. And I'm not looking to do that. So I don't know. How's your book club going?
It's going fine. In fact, given the number of books that I gave away or checked out during these last couple of weeks, that I had put on the side for book club members. It looks like we probably doubled the size of our club.
Wow.
So I've been pushing it pretty hard in terms of advertising in that within the library system and on Facebook and stuff like that. And we are reading a book that's not one of those you have to think books. It's a
good.
It's a thriller by Harlan Coben.
Okay.
Fool Me Once. So
yeah.
So I don't know if the particular book is attracting people or if the people are just finally realizing that there is a club going on here or not.
Mm.
So,
yeah.
So
I'd probably be interested in that. That'd be something I might be interested in. It's just I don't want to do, that boring drama fiction that I don't want to do that. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated because it's going to start next month or next week. It's going to start. So I think the email is going out this week.
So what's the first book you're reading?
I don't know. They haven't said yet. They're still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
I'm hoping now that I've talked about it with Michelle, she'll like get them to go into a direction that I like.
Right.
And we can just tailor this whole thing around me.
Right.
And but we'll see. And then I've had multiple people tell me now, hey, maybe they could read your book. And I said, well, that's cool. I'm not bringing that up. If somebody else wants to do it, then that's fine. Because I can talk about that for days.
That's right.
So that was on Thursday. Friday, I was a half a day. This past Friday, I was a half a day, and get ready to start hearing that more often. This past Friday, I had 27 half a days, so I had 13 and a half full days. 27 half days. There were 27 weeks left in the year that didn't have full holidays or didn't have holidays in them. So if I wanted to, I could go every Friday the rest of the year. Where there's like this week has a holiday. Today's a holiday, so I won't do it this week. But next week I could. But we'll see. I don't want to do them all because I want to keep a couple of these days in case I want them some other place. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised if I'm half a day almost every week the rest of the year, which is nice. I did stop I went to Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch, did some more writing, went through the outline again, adding more plot points. I took the response that ChatGPT gave me on Tuesday, the one I talked about that I deleted. Apparently I deleted it in the last couple of days now. And I added a few more things in, small things. I was looking really for tropes that I might have missed out on. This gave me a nice little subplot of one of my side characters who I've been trying to figure out what to do with him. It's so funny. In real life, this is based on my real life job that I quit in 2021. So back in 2019, when all the stuff that was going down that led me to this murder mystery, I had 2 coworkers. I had a boss and a boss's boss. And over the last 4 years, 4 years now, one has quit, one has been let go, one has retired, and one has moved on to a different position. I want to put that in this 9-book series. I want one of them to quit, one of them to retire, and one of them to go somewhere else within the company. And then I think at the end of book 9, I'm going to quit just like I did in real life. So I'm really trying to work that in. And one of my side characters that quit at the same time as me, I'm going to have him quit early in the series, and I'm going to have him start up his own app that has to do with cold cases. And then he's going to be used throughout the series with a failure in this book 8 that ends up to be a success later on in either the end of book 8 or book 9. So that's what I'm trying to do with some of these side characters.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was because of what I had done with ChatGPT. After I left Buffalo Wild Wings, I stopped at Best Buy and, I just bought a new laptop. Why not? I love new laptops. It's actually got a bigger screen. It looks great when I'm sitting at the restaurants and with a bigger screen. It does look great in terms of using Novelcraft and some of the other stuff.
What do you do with your old ones? Do you sell them off or?
Well, no, it's one of them I'm using right now, the one that I spilled pop on. It never leaves this desk.
Okay.
And now the one I'm replacing with this new one's going to sit in the other room beside my other computer to use while I'm, hopefully nobody from work is listening to this, working. And it's just kind of open. I put like YouTube videos on there to listen to or whatever, things like that on there. So that'll be where that one is purpose. And then this one's going to basically permanently be in my book bag to take to work or take to restaurants or whatever to write with. It's really going to be strictly a writing laptop.
Okay.
I did then came home in the afternoon, played one of my more exciting APBA football games. I had this game between Minnesota and Tampa Bay. It was 13-0 Minnesota at halftime. And by the time it was over, it was 33-30 in overtime. Like, it was so much fun. And so that was nice. I enjoyed that a lot. And then in the evening, not much of anything, although I did order another game to play on my channel. This one is a golf game made by this company called Play, P-L-A-A-Y, Play Games. And they make a lot of fun games. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube of people playing this golf game, and it looks like so much fun. And I'm really looking forward to playing it. I ordered it with the 2024 cards. It'll have the PGA and the Live Tour players together, which I like because I like the Live Tour players. And then I went to bed early because I had to golf the next morning. So then I woke up the next morning and didn't golf because of the rain, and which is how my spring's been going so far. So let me. It doesn't matter. Stuff doesn't matter. So we'll go. So I decided. So I went to Chick-fil-A in the morning, and this is where I was ready to start writing. I'm gonna go start writing. Well, I did. What I did was I spent a lot of time setting up Novel Crafter. I got all the codexes correct. I got all the tags correct. Like I can go in now and search book 8 and find just the people that are in book 8. I've got all the different characters that are in book 8. I gave some of them that just have lines, a couple of speaking lines. I gave them names, backgrounds. Like I'm really excited. This is going to become the Novel Crafter is going to become the official holding spot of my story Bible. So once I get the thing back from Edits by Tony, I'm going to copy stuff into the codexes from there so that as I'm writing in there, I have a really big story Bible inside of Novel Crafter. So I'll have the text, the Word document to fall back on. I'm also going to keep that into a folder. Eventually, if I build this AI that can search it, I can use that to search, but I also have Novel Crafter up to date at the same time. So this took me a few hours. I was really excited to get this thing up to date and ready to start writing, which happened on Sunday. Saturday morning, I came back home, or Sunday after Chick-fil-A, I came back home, played my NASCAR game, played my football game, a lot of fun stuff that I'm just doing. And then I got word that my buddy who was going to golf with me on Saturday could golf on Sunday. So the two of us went up, again, sleeves and pants. It was like 47 degrees when we teed off because God forbid we get sunny days at the end of May. But I did not play well. The previous week I shot an 83. We played the white tees again. I shot 92. So that's 9 strokes worse. Terrible. After that, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and finally began writing. I did not go to chapter 3.5 and continue from there. Instead, I went to the end and started working on chapter 24. This is kind of like the denouement starting scene. Mm-hmm. So I wrote all of 24. I wrote a lot of 25, but I stopped before that fight scene because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Again, I don't want him to be a fighter. I don't want him to like beat him up. So I wasn't sure what to do there. So I stopped. I ended up doing a total of 2,299 words over about 90 minutes, which is all of 24 and most of 25. Then afterward, I came home, played another football game, the first half, dinner, bed. And then this morning now it's Memorial Day. Now this was one of those holidays that I wasn't sure what time the restaurants open, but I knew that I talked about it in the podcast last year. So I found the Memorial Day podcast that we did last year, and I listened to myself recapping Memorial Day. And it turns out Chick-fil-A is not open in the morning. They're open at 10:30 for lunch. So I thought, okay, don't waste my time driving up. So thanks, Jerry. Thanks, previous podcast, for helping me on that one. So I
went to the home improvement store this morning, and I was really, really disappointed that because I was out at like 6:30, and I was expecting to stop at Chick-fil-A for breakfast, and it was not open.
Yep.
So
that's what they do.
Yeah.
They'll celebrate Memorial Day by not being open until 10:30. I guess it's very strange. They're 10:30 to 4, so they're not open that late either.
Right.
But so I did go up there, and before I went up there, I did send my manuscript to Edits by Tony. I had to clean up my emails a little bit, sent a couple other emails out, and then headed out to Chick-fil-A. Oh, wait, before I went to Chick-fil-A, I made a purchase. This is one of those things I'm keeping from you. So I'm going to tell you about it right now because it's
okay.
fun. I talked before how I get these book advertisements on Instagram. Right. Well, I also get writing class advertisements on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but the BBC created an Agatha Christie writing course. But what they did was they hired an actress who kind of looks like her, and then they AI'd her or CGI'd her or some I'd her so that it actually looked like Agatha Christie doing the talking. And I was like, wow, that seems a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It's like when they put Tarkin back into Star Wars after, what's his name had died years ago. So I watched an intro video where they were talking to her great-grandson, and they were like, the family gave consent, but there were some rules. Number one, all the words had to be hers. You couldn't make up anything. Other people couldn't come in and get everything. All the writing lessons had to be her words.
So and, no expletives.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, no, she does like to say one of her dialogue tags. He said, she said. There's always at least one he ejaculated, which is always kind of strange to me as a dialogue tag. So maybe, I guess she was working blue a little bit there. So I was watching the videos and I'm like, yeah, it's $89. It's only like 12 lessons. It's probably about 2.5 hours worth of video, but it's Agatha Christie. I gotta get it. So I have not watched it yet. I do not expect anything to come from this. Like this reminds me of my sister bought me what's that one? There's that one website that has all the different people that give lessons on something.
Oh,
it's always like the celebrities.
It's a master class or something.
Master class, yes.
Yeah.
So one of the mystery writers or action writers, maybe it's the guy who did, what's the guy's name who did the Da Vinci Code?
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown did one of those. I'm pretty sure it was Dan Brown. And I watched it. And I'm like, my sister bought it for me for Christmas. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I'm watching it, but I'm not taking anything away from my own writing. It was just interesting to hear him talk. Right. I have a feeling this could be the same thing. But if you look at the lessons, it's stuff like clues and foreshadowing. So what's his name? Dean Wesley Smith. I remember buying one of his courses on mystery writing, and it was so general. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't pull anything away. It was interesting to hear him talk about his process. I really enjoyed that. But to actually sit down and apply stuff he gave me, I wasn't really going to do much with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of these classes are like that, but at least they're entertaining a little bit.
Yes.
So I
would not tell anybody not to get the Dean Wesley Smith. It was really entertaining. Right. It's just I wasn't going to sit down and be like, oh, now I know how to do clues better. Let's see. So this, and I have feeling this Agatha Christie thing is going to be the same thing.
The Dean Wesley Smith thing that brings back a memory I have, because I watched quite a few of his courses, and then by the time I was done watching, like maybe the 7th or 8th one, I couldn't help but think to myself that this is the kind of guy that I would punch out in a bar. It's just
okay. Sorry, Mr. Smith, if you're listening.
Yeah, he's just so opinionated. So.
Well, his big thing, I saw him at 20 Books probably in 2021, and his big thing was Write in the Dark, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And the cycling thing I really enjoy. I use that, even though I don't write in the dark, I use the cycling thing a lot. But his whole thing was when you're done, you're just done. There's no editing. You just go on to the next one. And I'm like, dude, you're really good at this. I'm not.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I doubt if he did that in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Stephen King. You must write every day. No, you don't, Steve.
Yeah.
No, you don't. So I made this purchase, $89. I've not watched it yet. I will report back next week and tell you what I think.
That'd be cool.
I'm pretty excited to see it. I'm hoping that you can watch it on your TV because that's kind of where I want to watch it. But if you can't, I'll watch it on my laptop throughout the rest of the week. Probably in the evenings, a little bit at a time. I think it's 2 hours, 2:45. I think is what it is. So I'm looking forward to this. So. Also had to clean up how my author emails are being done. I mentioned earlier that I was messing around with my author emails. I have this ChemiCloud for my hosting now, and I bought a 3-year plan. And it was like just a couple $100. It was really cheap. When I go to renew, it's like $750. I'll go find somebody else. But their email service is awful. I've tried multiple computers with Outlook, setting up the way it says, and my emails will start coming down off the server, and all of a sudden they just stop. And I'll refresh. I'll go to the server. I log in. Everything looks great. It's all there, but they don't come down to Outlook. And I've done this on this laptop, the other laptop, and the new laptop, and my desktop. And it just, after a while, it just stops giving me my emails. I don't know why.
That's weird.
So if I go to ChemiCloud's email, their website, the online one, it works great. So I decided I'm just going to use that from now on until I change my mind and do something else. So I set up folders and did all the stuff that I need to do. And now it's all organized. And now when I open up my writing stuff, I have 7 bookmarks that I just right click on and say, open all bookmarks. And it's like Novel Crafter, ChatGPT, 2 of my, my documents that I use, podcast outline, and Gmail. And now that one opens automatically too. So I just always have it open when I'm writing. I don't really care about my email, my work, my writer's email. If I'm just sitting on the couch at 7:30 at night, or if it's a Saturday and I'm golfing, I'm not putting it on my phone. Maybe if I start selling a whole bunch of books, I would care more. But right now, it's not a big deal. Right. So I just basically see it when I write, and that's it. So that works out. So I did that, and then I was off to Chick-fil-A to write today. I wrote 1,489 words, finishing chapter 25. The fight scene, it's awful. It's so first draft. But at least it's something. I had to get something down. And then I wrote chapter 26. And this is where I decided, because she was in danger in this book for the first time, this is where I kind of decided to have this final chapter where they're just kind of sitting, they're having dinner, they're in silence. You can tell there's a little bit of tension. Now, they don't fight, but she's kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this with you doing this like this. I was in danger. I don't know if I want to be in danger again. And then he says something like, well, I'm thinking about quitting my job and doing it full time. And I wanted to leave it with a cliffhanger of them just kind of, it's in the air that something could happen between these two. I also bring up Sam's parents because that's what the next book is about. So I wanted to kind of create like this cliffhanger that's not necessarily your typical cliffhanger, but there's something in the air that gets resolved in the next book.
Right.
So,
right.
Came home, cleaned my house, cut my grass. I got my dryer running right now because laundry's going. What else did I do? Played my football game. watch some YouTube. It's been a pretty good day in terms of just. And then today's my mom's birthday, so I was over there a couple times, including the last time I wrote her a card. I got her a card at Target that said, and I apologize, there's going to be language here that said, "You're not old, because if you're old, then I'm." And when you open it up, it just says, "Oh shit." Yeah. So that was nice. And then came back, and now we're podcasting. And after we're done, I'm gonna finish cleaning up my house and have some pizza and probably watch some TV until I go to sleep. And that's it. That was my 2 weeks. Yay!
That's amazing. I'm exhausted just listening to you because like I said at the top of the show, I didn't get anything done this last 2 weeks in terms of writing. In fact, there's just been so much going on and so much, turmoil and family drama and everything. And after a lot of, heartbreaking conversation and struggling, emotionally and mentally with it, it finally got to the point where, other than maybe the occasional booty call, me and my writing have decided to see other people this year.
Oh no!
this summer.
Oh, for the whole summer! Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, I really want to name the podcast "The Occasional Booty Call." I don't know if I'm going to. I really want to.
No, you ought to. That'd be good. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much shit going on, and not even counting the work, the library work. Yeah, I'm sure I'm still going to write, but I just the pressure. I just feel so guilty at the end of the week when it gets to the point that I've gotten nothing done. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Not put any deadlines or anything. Not put any kind of word count goals or any of that kind of stuff, and just see what happens week to week.
Are you going to come and listen to me babble every week?
Oh yeah. I enjoy talking with you every week.
Okay, so, yeah, me too. Good.
And probably at some point all your productivity is going to rub off on me, and I'll get going again. But for right now, especially these next few weeks, because I'm going to be I only work 2 days this coming week, and then the week after that, maybe 2 weeks after that, going to be over out in California because my son and daughter-in-law are graduating.
Nice.
So yeah, it's good. The next 2-3 weeks, anyways, are just a loss to begin with. So we'll see. Now, having said that, I'll probably go to work tomorrow and just write a whole bunch. Who knows?
That's what could happen. Is you'll be just on a break, you'll be bored, and you'll be like, I'm just going to write 1,000 words.
Right. And
you'll probably start 3 news stories.
And it should be boring tomorrow too, because it's Tuesday after Memorial Day. All the colleges have finished up. All the high schools and stuff have finished up. So we're not going to have all the kids flowing through that we have had. And so we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, I have to be honest. I actually cribbed this idea from somebody else on Blue Sky who said that they and their writing were separating. So,
I like it.
Okay.
And I can't wait until next week when you wrote more words than me. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that might happen.
Yeah.
I did nothing new really. I did actually start working on my website
nice.
During the weeks, trying to create a landing page, or I did create a landing page, I should say. Of course, I got to get a book finished in order to put on that landing page. But other than that, there's really nothing new that I'm trying to do relative to writing.
Okay. What about running lists of future things? I mean, this could be a good place for you to do some of those other things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the current big project, as I mentioned, is working on that garden path. So I've gotten, I'm not sure how many linear feet I've been able to lay down, but it's like 22 bags of cement it's taken me. So 80-pound bags. So I've got at least, if she ends up wanting cement paths everywhere in that garden where she has regular paths right now, I may crest 150 bags of cement or something like that.
And you said it was like 50 to 55 degrees down there. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's 90,
and that's the big issue. Yeah. In fact, I was going to tell you at the top of the show, I didn't because I forgot that if I suddenly start grimacing and I disappear from the screen, it's because one of my legs is cramping or my hand is cramping or something, because I lost so much fluids while I was out there. Even though I was drinking like crazy, I think I downed about 32 ounces of Gatorade, but still, it doesn't help.
All right.
But yeah, so that's the big thing. It will be working in the garden as always. Next year, I'm going to have to do something different. Of course, this year, what we were trying to do is we were trying to get the garden back up and running because we used to have quite an operation, almost a small hobby farm in the back. And we just let it go in the latter years of my son's teenage years because we were traveling for baseball and all kinds of stuff because he was on a traveling team. So we're trying to get that back. After this year, most of the infrastructure will be in place and it'll be a lot easier. I have been eating a ton of stuff out of the garden, which is causing me to lose weight. In fact,
nice.
I started my weight loss at the beginning of the year at 228, and this morning I stepped on the scale. I was 218. So
nice.
I'm in the right direction. It's all those all those cucumbers and beans and tomatoes coming out of the garden.
I think it's too late for me to plant cucumbers. I love planting.
Not
cucumbers.
For you. Nope, not for you at all.
Will. Problem is my yard is awful, but maybe I will. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah. Oh, you can't beat a fresh cucumber.
Oh, they're so good. I remember I planted like not very many seeds a few years back. Ended up with so many cucumbers.
Right,
it was great.
I've got 4 grow bags that with like teepee bamboo poles in them that I grow the cucumbers up. And we've had so many cucumbers. I've been making pickles in 2-gallon jars, and it's been really great.
Wait, how do you make pickles?
It's really simple. It's vinegar, sugar, water, salt, and cumin, and garlic, and then dill. Yeah.
They taste like store-bought pickles?
It tastes just like store-bought pickles.
Really?
They taste like kosher dills. Yep. Yeah.
All right, we're doing this. I'm definitely planting cucumbers then. Maybe next weekend.
And I love pickles. I don't know about you, but I love
Me
pickles.
too. I always have pickles in my fridge.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
All right, so for my running list of future things to do, I did add plant cucumbers to the list just now.
I saw that.
And then everything else is the same. So let's go to my addicted to. I'll give you something to do during this time, Rich. So I got addicted to another one of these NFL throwback videos. You remember I talked a couple of weeks ago about the one that was called 4.5 hours of guys chucking it deep.
Right.
And then the next one was 2.5 hours of long runs. Well, they published another one that's 10 hours long.
Wow.
It's basically just a whole bunch of good plays on offense, defense, special teams, trick plays, anything else they can come up with from any era of football. Most of it is more recent because TV, but There's a lot of stuff there. I'm almost done. I got like an hour left in it. I've been watching over the last 2 weeks just in the evenings, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun just to relive all of these different teams making all of these different plays. So it's a lot of fun.
This must be a fad because I've been seeing a lot of this stuff popping up on my YouTube too. I haven't looked at any of it, so it's not me tickling the algorithm. I think the algorithm's just pushing it for some reason.
The wife watching NFL stuff.
No, she doesn't. In fact, she does. Right. She doesn't watch YouTube at all.
Okay. Well, God, lucky her. The addiction's terrible. All right, so let me just.
Addicted to. I got addicted to. I didn't put it down here, and this may sound weird, but my addicted to is tuna fish.
Oh, that is
I've been buying tuna fish in these like 6-packs, and I've been eating a couple of cans every day for lunch, and I've been really enjoying it.
What happened to the ice cream?
We finished it and we didn't buy any.
I wonder you're 10 pounds lighter than you are.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So in terms of my schedule next week, today being a holiday, I do have to go into the office the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I am going to inquire this week about switching back to 2 days in the office and 3 days at home. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to. I don't know what the penalties are. And penalties are a really strong word. There's really no penalties, but I do get more work from home days because I'm 3 days a week. Then you get, when I work 2 days a week in the office, I got 5 work from home days, meaning if I wanted to use a work from home day on a week where I was working in the office 2 days, I'll only have to go in 1 day. Mm-hmm. But when I went to 3 days, I got 8 work from home days. Well, I've already used 5 of them, and I know they're going to want to like prorate it down to something. So are they going to take it down to like none? Probably not. So if they can leave me 1 or 2, then I'm probably going to go ahead and do it as soon as humanly possible. I know I don't talk about it that much, but I have been writing at the library successfully on the days I go over. And I haven't gone over in the last couple of weeks, but when I do go over, it's been good. So if I'm working in the office 2 days a week and I'm home 3 days a week, I can take that third day and go over to the library, whichever day I want. Maybe it's more than one, and I can get words done just the same. So I think I'm going to try to do that, see how that goes.
In my old job at the university, if you wanted to do something like this, what would usually happen is they would say, sure, yeah, no problem. Oh, and by the way, you are on such and such committee now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
So the penalty was actually very high.
Are they going to put me back on the engagement committee?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do that this week. Inquire about that. So tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be in the office. I'll try to get 1,000 words each of those 3 days at lunch, and then I do have my golf league tomorrow night. Friday, I'll be working from home. It is a full day because today was a holiday. But again, don't get used to that. It's going to be half a days almost every Friday the rest of the year. Probably won't do much on Friday in terms of writing. Saturday and Sunday are similar to last week in terms of I have tea times, 6:40 a.m. tea times. I'll come home both days, probably home around 11:30, pack up the new laptop, and then I'll go somewhere to plot. I put plot/write, but really it's write now. I'm just writing everything. I did actually start yesterday. I finished up writing yesterday. Wait, what's today? Saturday? Yeah, I finished writing yesterday, and I did go to ChatGPT and say, listen, here's what I'm doing for this final chapter. Let's talk about book 9 and how it starts. And I have a couple of ideas for how I want book 9 to start, even though I'm not there yet. I did start plotting a little bit, just thinking about how this book ends.
Did you just say today was Saturday?
I may have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I have no idea.
Okay.
Anytime there's a holiday, I get mixed up on the days.
Yeah.
It feels like Sunday today, and I said Saturday, and actually it's Monday. So, so Saturday and Sunday will be 6:40 a.m. tea time. I'll come home. I'll write. Saturday I'll run some errands, and Sunday I'll do the grocery store like normal. Although I didn't this past week. And then Monday it's back to a normal work week, which means a normal work week will now. When I say that, it now means half a day Friday. It's going to be normal. I'll try to get 1,000 words in the office on Monday. My goal, based on the math, and this is a high number, but based on the math, 4 lunch days for work and 2 weekends, I should get 7,000 words at least. So that will be the goal this week, and we'll see what happens.
That would be good.
I haven't got 7,000 words in a weekend in a long time, so it's going to be kind of interesting.
As I've said, no word goal for me. I do work at the library tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday I have off because my wife is coming back from her trip to see her parents, and I need to go to the airport to pick her up. And I had a bunch of what they call administrative leave. That's when the mayor lets the all city employees off except for the library. So we get hours. Okay. So, but you have to use them within a small period of time. So I just went ahead and took the whole day off, and then I'll have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off as well. So hopefully we'll get something done. Hopefully we'll get something done in the garden and
okay. I thought you were going
to get some rest. Yes, I tell you what. After the last week, yesterday I was so wiped out. I didn't even go to church. I called somebody and said, you're going to have to take over AV today, and I just sat in front of the TV and watched TV all day long.
It's a great feeling.
But I did find a good new show. You might want to check it out. It's actually not a new show. It's an old show, but it's on BBC, or it was a BBC. It's on BritBox. It's called New Tricks, and it's a police show where there's a woman superintendent and 3 retired guys that they bring in to solve cold cases.
Oh, okay.
So it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'll look.
Yeah, been binge watching it. So.
All right, nothing to share?
No, not really.
Yeah, I have nothing also. So that's going to be the podcast. It's a little bit quicker than I thought, but that will be the podcast for this week. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me, jerry@jerryevanoff.com. The website is jerryevanoff.com. YouTube and your favorite podcasting app if you want to listen or hear it or see us. If you're doing the other one and you want to do the other one, you can. I don't know if are you going to promote a website, or you said you were doing something with a landing page? Are you doing anything with that or no?
No, it's just in the background. I got the structure and everything set up right now, but yeah, nothing. I actually took my webpage offline because it was all showing links to Vella. So
yeah, is that gone now? Is that officially
gone? Yeah, it's gone. It's officially gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to talk to me, heaven knows why, but if you do, it's my email address is rich@richkacy.com, and I can also be found on Blue Sky at Kacy himself. I did not look and see what my total Blue Sky numbers were, but I think since the last time we talked, it's at least up 150, maybe more.
Wow!
So
you are getting followers like crazy.
But I haven't gone through and tried to call out the ones that are probably bots. Or they may not be bots, but they're not high quality followers. And it's kind of people who just repost a bunch of stuff that everybody else posts. So I like to go through every now and then, call that out. And maybe I'll do that by next week and report on where I'm at with that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That's going to be it for the podcast. Thanks everyone for listening or watching. We'll be back next week.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.